America building the wall. Overnight, President Trump says he'll deliver today on one of his biggest campaign promises. Take executive action on immigration, too, as protests break out over his new plans for those controversial pipelines. Also overnight, the president threatens to send feds to Chicago to deal with the violence.
New health alert. Multiple strains of the extremely contagious norovirus now spreading across the country, closing schools from Chicago to Rhode Island. Dr. Besser is here with the latest on the outbreak and the best way to prevent it. Secret scare. Dancing with the Stars, Erin Andrews revealing her battle with cervical cancer, keeping it from her colleagues on the dance floor and football field. Heading back to work just days after surgery, the one thing she says got her through it.
And the rare twins inspiring thousands, biracial, born with different complexions. These photos turning them into social media sensations.
It's amazing. It's one of those feelings you can't even describe.
The amazing family speaking out right here on GMA This Morning.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Always love starting with a little sister sledge like that. How about those beautiful twins? Even the mom said she was surprised.
Yeah, look, they're so cute. You know, there's nothing like beautiful babies. I think they are magnificent.
That is a great way to start the day right there. Have a lot of news this morning as well. President Trump promising a big day of announcements. Headed to the Department of Homeland Security, expected to announce his first executive actions to build the wall, restricting immigration and national security.
You know that we have team coverage of all the breaking news overnight. ABC's John Carl starts us off from the White House. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Robin. Here on day 5 of the Trump presidency, the frenzied pace of activity at the White House continues. Today, the president will sign orders aimed at fulfilling some of his most controversial campaign promises. Today, President Trump will take the first step towards fulfilling the signature promise of his campaign.
We will build a great wall. We will build a great wall.
The White House says the order will begin the construction of the wall, likely by redirecting some existing border security funds. Still unclear, however, is if the president can fulfill the second part of his promise, getting Mexico to pay for it. Overnight, the president tweeted, "Big day planned on national security tomorrow. Among many other things, we will build the wall." And in the coming days, Trump plans to make good on another immigration promise.
When I'm elected, I will suspend immigration from areas of the world where there is a proven history of terrorism against the United States.
According to sources familiar with the plan, Trump could move to suspend some immigration from Iraq, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen, either temporarily or indefinitely. President Trump also made energy issues a key component of his campaign.
And we're going to get the Keystone Pipeline approved.
Yesterday, he signed directives to lift restrictions on the construction of 2 major oil pipelines, which had been blocked by the Obama administration. One of those, the Dakota Access Pipeline, made headlines in December after U.S. Army Corps of Engineers stopped work following massive protests. And overnight, Donald Trump went on Twitter to take on the city of Chicago over its high crime rate. The tweet reading, "If Chicago doesn't fix the horrible carnage going on, 228 shootings in 2017 with 42 killings, up 24%, I will send in the feds." Now, Chicago has responded, George, and said actually on every number in that tweet, Trump has gotten the number wrong, but there's no doubt about it. He may be overstating what's happened in Chicago so far this year, but the crime wave that we saw last year does continue in the city of Chicago.
And the mayor's saying he'll take any help he can get. Okay, John, thanks very much. Today's announcement comes after another tough day in the White House briefing room for Press Secretary Sean Spicer, who doubled down on the president's false claim that millions of illegal votes caused him to lose the popular vote to Hillary Clinton. ABC's Cecilia Vega there. You were there yesterday, Cecilia. It was tense in there with Spicer defending demonstrably false statements from the president.
Baseless, a conspiracy theory flatly debunked. George, that is what we are talking about here, but that is not stopping the president from pushing this falsehood.
This morning, the new president at the center of an old controversy after this stunning admission from his press secretary.
Does the president believe that millions voted illegally in this election? And what evidence do you have of widespread voter fraud in this election, if that's the case?
The president does believe that. He has stated that before. I think he stated his concerns of voter fraud and people voting illegally during the campaign. And he continues to maintain that belief based on studies and evidence that people have presented to him.
But exactly what evidence?
As I said, I think the president has believed that for a while based on studies and information he has.
President Trump made the false claim during his first White House meeting with congressional leaders on Monday, telling them millions of illegal ballots cast cost him the popular vote.
Is the White House going to formally ask for a probe into this alleged?
No, I think he won very, very handily with 306 electoral votes, 33 states. He's very comfortable with his win.
I'm asking you, why not investigate something
maybe we will.
The biggest scandal in American electoral history?
How can he be comfortable with his win if he believes
he's very comfortable with his
3 million votes? Maybe he didn't win.
No, he's very comfortable with his win.
The briefing then coming to an abrupt end not long after a fellow aide placed a note on Press Secretary Sean Spicer's podium. The claim of widespread voter fraud has been flatly debunked. Trump aides have pointed to 2 studies, but both were conducted years before the election. And one author tells ABC News the Trump team is deliberately trying to mischaracterize the report. The other says he found no evidence of voter fraud. Republicans and Democrats alike pouncing.
I've seen no evidence to that effect, and I've made that very, very clear.
And seems to be obsessed with the idea that he could not have possibly lost the popular vote without cheating and fraud.
Regarding Mr. Trump's delusional statement that 3 to 5 million people voted illegally in the last election. That is a total nonsensical statement.
Now, even President Trump's own lawyers seem to be contradicting his widespread claim of voter fraud in court filings. They objected to a post-election recount in the state of Michigan, writing all available evidence suggests the election was, quote, not tainted by fraud or mistake. George.
That was their official filing. Cecilia, thanks very much. Our whole political team is here to weigh in on these stories. We want to start with John Karl right now. And John, you were in the briefing room on Monday. Your question was, will you always pledge to tell the truth? Will you always pledge to be factual? Ignored on day 2.
Yeah, really something else, George. Although it was fascinating to see Sean Spicer asked, personally, do you believe there were millions of fraudulent votes cast? And Spicer wouldn't say that. He was very careful to say that he was representing what the president believes. I got to tell you, here in the White House, even among the president's closest aides, this is a head scratcher. This is not a belief that is widely held here. This seems to be something that is simply held by the president himself.
But John, it seems like there's nobody in that White House who can go to the president and say, simply stop saying this.
I think that's exactly the problem that you've identified here, George. And, you know, this is something that's gotten all over his message in his first week. It's completely unnecessary and distracting and creates a controversy that diverts from what he's actually doing in the White House.
Yeah, perfect time to bring in Tom Llamas because you covered Donald Trump for the 18 months that he was on the campaign trail. And some people thought that once he became president, he would moderate his tone, but that has not happened.
Yeah, and this issue of truth is a major thing with President Trump. One of the most heated exchanges we ever had is when I asked him if critics were right, if he had a problem with the truth, if he tended to exaggerate. That's when he called me a sleaze on national television. This is a running problem with President Trump. And George is right. I don't know how many people are in his ear telling him this is wrong. A senior advisor once told me once President Trump convinces himself of something, whether it be a policy or an idea, it is very tough to change his mind.
Okay, Martha Raddatz here as well. I want to get to the immigration orders, but you're a chief global affairs anchor as well. It does raise real questions of credibility overseas.
Absolutely. I think people don't know what to expect, and then they hear him say one thing, and other people fact check him and say, when can we believe him? If he sends people overseas to talk about what he's going to do next, it's really a troubling situation, even overseas.
We don't know all the details of this immigration order today, but likely to be suspending for a while any immigration from majority Muslim countries that have had a history of terrorism.
Well, some majority Muslim countries. There's Indonesia. They're not on the list. We've got Syria. We've got Yemen. Definitely, there have been problems there, but there are also questions about what's not on the list. Afghanistan's not on the list. Pakistan's not on the list. Saudi Arabia, which had the 9/11 terrorists. I know there's some enhanced screening there. But I think in many ways these countries don't create a real diplomatic problem. They're easy ones. The other ones would be much tougher.
That's the situation abroad. Back here at home, John Karl, you had that tweet that Donald Trump put out last night about Chicago, talking about the violence there and that he would bring in the feds. What exactly could that mean, bringing in the feds?
Well, we've asked that question of White House officials, several of them, and there's no answer on what exactly he means. Theoretically, Robin, he could nationalize the National Guard, do something there, but it's very hard to do without the consent of local authorities. By the way, President Obama sent in federal assistance to 20 different cities during the course of his presidency, so it's not unusual to send in federal assistance. A federal takeover is a whole other question, though.
And Tom, the president also expected to get started on the wall today. Says he wants to get started on the wall, but with domestic money.
Yeah, this is his hallmark issue. If President Trump can't accomplish anything, this is the one thing he does want to accomplish. This is what his supporters first came to him for. This is what they were chanting at every single rally up until the election. For Donald Trump, he has to build this wall.
Perhaps we will get some answers tonight because David Muir will have the first interview with President Trump since the inauguration, airing at 10 p.m. Eastern right here on ABC. Michael?
All right, thank you, Robin. And now we're going to turn to a health alert about the extremely contagious norovirus with outbreaks in schools from Chicago to Rhode Island. And health officials say more outbreaks are on the way. Our chief health and medical editor, Dr. Richard Besser, is here to answer our questions. And, Doc, there are more and more outbreaks we're seeing. So 2 questions. Why are we seeing these outbreaks? And how dangerous is this norovirus?
Yeah, I mean, we are in the midst of it. Norovirus is a bad actor. Each year it causes as many as 20 million cases of disease. And every winter we're seeing the same thing. Take a look at this. In January, the numbers are up, but they're going to continue to climb. Every year, it's usually February, March, where we see that peak. So it's bad now, but it's going to get worse as people are indoors, they're crowding, they're able to spread that virus between each other.
And what are the symptoms of the virus?
Well, when you look at norovirus, it causes typical stomach flu symptoms. It may cause abdominal pain, some fever. It comes on quickly. So 12 to 48 hours after being exposed, you're going to get those symptoms. And then 1 to 3 days later, it tends to go away.
Is it dangerous?
It can be very dangerous. What you really worry about is dehydration. And so little kids, the elderly, people in nursing homes, they can get dehydrated and people can die from this.
And it's called the stomach flu, but it's not the stomach flu.
Yeah.
There's no vaccination for it. You just have to ride it out.
Exactly. I mean, this is one of those things where words are a bit of a problem. We use the word stomach flu, but flu is influenza, and there is a vaccine for that. The stomach flu is norovirus. They're working on vaccines, but there aren't any. So control measures are back to the basics. Hand washing is critically important with soap and water. This is one where that alcohol sanitizer does nothing. You have to clean surfaces. This can live on surfaces for weeks. So if someone has been sick, you have to clean that up. And then if someone's sick, they should stay home. They shouldn't prepare foods because it can spread that way too.
All right, thank you, Doc. Give it a fist bump. There we go. All right, Robin.
All right, gentlemen, now to that horrible weather. New storm moving into the Midwest, shutting down interstates overnight. Ginger, I know you're tracking the system for us.
Yes, Robin, we've got a 100-mile stretch of Interstate 90 that was shut down. Slide-offs in Nebraska, up to 22 inches of snow, and this thing isn't done with us yet. Slide-offs and tow-outs littering highways across the plains. Up to a foot of snow in South Dakota. Plus 35-mile-per-hour winds making visibility almost impossible. A 100-mile section of I-90 in western South Dakota shut down. And in the Northeast, dangerous ice, inches of sleet, and up to 9 inches of snow in Pennsylvania have folks digging out this morning. In Vermont, Burlington Airport rushing to clear the runways.
There's no matter what you can do to keep up with it when it's really snowing heavy.
In Rochester, New York, 2 women killed after losing control of their vehicle on slick roads. And in Massachusetts,
just heard this ungodly boom.
Punishing 60-mile-per-hour winds toppling trees, one crashing onto this house.
I jumped up. It scared daylights out of me.
Violent nor'easter waves gnawing away at the coast. So the nor'easter are all but gone, just one little line. I want to track this storm in the middle of the nation here. You can see that low pressure system taking us through drive time, Madison, Wisconsin, parts of Iowa, and certainly southeastern Minnesota still feeling it. Just getting into Traverse City, my friends in Petoskey there. And then behind it, much colder air. A place like Dallas that was 80 yesterday for a high will feel like 32 by the time we reach this weekend. Now look at this picture, you guys. I wanted to do from that nor'easter. That's Holgate, New Jersey. Beach erosion of 100 feet of that beach taken out. A cliff created. Wow. Huge.
Wow. All right, thank you, Ginger. Oh, you know, the scary weather has created some scary accidents as well this winter. Take a look at this crash. A train slamming into a FedEx truck, and an investigation is now underway. And Eva Pilgrim is here with more. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Michael. Terrifying. Those trucks and cars driving through what looks like an open railroad crossing, nothing warning them that a train is heading their way.
It starts when this North Salt Lake City police officer, his dash cam rolling, backs up to avoid this sudden impact. A commuter train versus a FedEx truck.
Verifying the semi was split in half.
Take another look. Before the crash, the crossing gates are up, lights and bells off. It takes 30 seconds before they finally turn on.
We got some people on the train, probably need some medical assistance.
Utah Railroad authorities blame severe snow and ice for causing a power outage. The gates are programmed to come down, and apparently they did. But when railroad workers arrived to investigate, for some reason, the arms raised back up.
This is an unprecedented accident. This has not occurred at UTA prior.
Some of the train's 82 passengers complained of whiplash, but there were no serious injuries. FedEx says it's grateful the two workers in the truck were okay too. An investigation is now underway to figure out why the truck and train ended up on a collision course.
And really just makes you pause the next time you go to cross train tracks. Every 3 hours, a person or vehicle is hit by a train here in the U.S. A reminder that even though crossings usually work, there is always the chance for error. George?
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Every
you know,
3 hours.
Looks like the president may be watching the news this morning. Just after we finished our conversation, he has now put out some new tweets saying he's going to ask for a major investigation into voter fraud, wants to look into people registered to vote in 2 states, illegals, those who are registered to vote who may be dead. So he is not only doubling down, but tripling down, asking for this major investigation. We'll follow up on that later. And you got some other stories this morning, including a major bombing overseas.
That's right, and there is some dramatic video of that car bombing this morning at a busy hotel. Look at that, in Somalia's capital. A popular nearby shopping center also caught fire because of this after the explosion. Gunmen stormed that hotel. At least 12 people have been killed so far. The Al-Shabaab terror group, which is linked to al-Qaeda, has claimed responsibility. Well, the Secret Service says it will take quick and appropriate action against an agent over her Facebook post about President Trump. According to the Washington Examiner, Carrie O'Grady, the special agent in charge of the Denver district, suggested she would rather go to jail than take a bullet for Trump. The comments just came to light, but were posted before the election. The governor of Minnesota, who collapsed during his televised speech on Monday night, has now revealed he is fighting prostate cancer, but he plans to finish out his term. Doctors say his fall was due to possible dehydration. And new overnight, well, you know, Robin called this one. Serena Williams has advanced to the semifinals of the Australian Open. Her win means 3 of the tournament's final 4 women are Americans, including Serena's sister, Venus. Robin, you said don't count the Williams sisters out. That's right. All right. And finally, a tall guy with a small car and a big problem. Take a look. Adam Elliott is 6 feet 7 inches tall. He drives a convertible. He says police cited him for dangerous driving because they thought he was standing up behind the wheel. He says it only appears that way, but he pleaded guilty so he can be the bigger man and move on. But listen to this, though. It's crazy. He lost his driver's license for 12 months because the judge said he was showing off by being in a small convertible, being that tall. He's distracting drivers.
Okay.
Yeah. How hard is it to find a story every day that
Really easy, actually.
That's a scary part of it. That's a scary part of it. It's starting to dry out a little bit here in the Northeast.
It is. I just kept thinking the bugs when he's going. Wouldn't that be bad? He didn't have the windshield. Okay, so yes, we're drying out. We want to see the sun. A lot of us haven't seen it in a week after that. You could see the ocean there just moving, but we are going to see a little bit of sun today. Let's get to the snowy cities, brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual stood with me when I was too busy with the kids to get a repair estimate.
Liberty did what?
Yeah, with Liberty Mutual, all I needed to do to get an estimate was snap a photo of the damage and voila.
Voila. I wish my insurance company had that. Wait, hold it, boys. There's supposed to be 3 of you. Where's your brother? Where's your brother? Hey, where's Charlie? Charlie?
You can leave worry behind when Liberty stands with you. Liberty stands with you. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
And a very good morning. Meteorologist Brian Vandegraff making a run and get this near 60 degrees this afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. Pretty mild out there, and a light breeze looking good. Tonight, temperatures in the 30s to near 40. Now, tomorrow we will be milder in the morning, but through the day, temperatures will drop back. Could be an isolated sprinkle tomorrow morning. Breezy on Friday in the 40s, low 40s this weekend. Look at next week in the 30s, and then temperatures kind of level out as we head towards the first day of February.
Coming up, Dancing with the Stars co-host Erin Andrews revealing her secret health scare, diagnosed